This is the True Believers Bible Study with Ray McCollum. Let's figure things out.
We're doing a series of studies on God's ultimate purpose. You know, the evolutionists have a doctrine of creation that is purposeless. In the eyes of the evolutionists, things have just evolved. Nothing really had an original purpose or design, but that everything that exists has evolved from something much lower than what it is now. And this leads to pessimism, nihilism, a state of just a horrible way to live, to look at the world, to look at everything in the world as evolving. I mean, it is what it is now, but it'll be something different 1,000 years from now, and on and on. But the Bible presents a God who creates everything with a purpose. Nothing, so to speak, evolves out of something much lower. Actually, the Bible teaches that man at his creation was at his highest level, and he got worse. And he's been getting worse for thousands of years. And the only way to reverse the curse is to be born again. I mean, that's what the Bible teaches. But unlike evolution, the Bible teaches creationism, and creation with a purpose, because God is a God of purpose. Everything he makes has a purpose. And he has many purposes for his creation, but he only has one ultimate purpose, because the very definition of ultimate puts it at a category above all other purposes or intents. For example, ultimate means the final or end. So the ultimate purpose of God is the final purpose, the end purpose. Its purpose definition is the last in a progression of a series. So if you look at it that way, then the ultimate purpose is the last thing in a series of purposes. God's purpose is to save you, but that's not his ultimate purpose. He wants you filled with the Holy Spirit, but that's not his ultimate purpose. He wants you to live a godly life. He wants you to be a blessing to others. He wants you to serve him, worship him, but that's not his ultimate purpose. His ultimate purpose is, according to the definition, that which is arrived at as the last result. We expressed God's ultimate purpose through Romans 8, where Paul says there's a group of people that love God and who are called according to his purpose. And then Paul tells us that purpose is to conform us to the image of his Son. If you don't understand the ultimate purpose of God, you will put another purpose in its place and fall short of working with him toward his ultimate purpose. You know, the example I think of is when I used to take trips overseas. And, if you've ever gone overseas, the airline, you say, okay, I'm going to do a ministry trip to Manila in the Philippines. And the first trip I ever took overseas was to Manila to do ministry. But I didn't go directly to Manila. I had to go to Los Angeles. Then I had my plane, my itinerary took me through Tokyo. And then from Tokyo, I went to Manila. So the ultimate purpose of the trip was to get to Manila. Now, if I didn't know my ultimate purpose, I might have arrived in Los Angeles and stopped the trip because I thought I had arrived. But I hadn't arrived. That was a part of the purpose to get to the final purpose, but it wasn't the final purpose. If I'd have gone on to Tokyo and said, well, now I've arrived, that's the end, that's all there is, well, I'd never get to Manila. which is my final purpose. I mean, the same thing applies to the Christian life, friends. So many of God's precious people stop short of God's ultimate purpose. They come to a part of his purpose, but then they think they've arrived. They think the trip is over. And as a result, they end up short, falling short, coming short of cooperating with God as he takes us, I should say, through a series of stops, so to speak, along the way, achievements, certain things that we arrive at, but it's not the ultimate, but it's going to get us toward the ultimate. And that's what we have in the church today. We have a lack of understanding God's ultimate purpose. And we're going to continue this study because it's critically important. And I have to tell you, just my personal testimony, God exposed me to this truth early in my walk with Christ. And I consider myself so blessed to come across the works of a man by the name of Devern Fromke. One of his books was called The Ultimate Intention, and he has other books with that theme. And that brought me to a place of understanding that has served me well for 50 years of walking with the Lord. So we hope to help you do the same. We'll see you next time. Till then, get the word out, like us, share this podcast. By all means, subscribe and get your friends to subscribe, and we believe it'll be a blessing. We'll see you next time.
True Believers Bible Study is made possible by people just like you. To make a donation, please visit truebelieversbiblestudy.com.